Hello again. I'm back, and I'm here to make leeway on this case. Just get into it. Once again, I just don't really, I don't have much to say. I'm just ready to finish this mystery, see what's happening, see who it is. You open one eye, you stretch slowly. It's already nighttime out. You get up quickly, and a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Last time we left off, we had a little bit more information. Exactly we didn't exactly learn anything too new, did we? A lot of people everywhere. Um, this is the pastor, isn't it? The church guy. Check up on the church guy. Let's see what he's up to. You recognize the next passenger from his shape and the way he walks. It's the priest. Oh yeah, the priest. He slides into the back seat. Oh, what voice did I give him? Damn it, I forgot. Gave him a light voice. Uh, damn, I can't remember. Very pleased to see you again. He gives you the same address he did the last 2 times. You start driving. Something appears to be troubling him this evening. A few words are exchanged. The weather, taxes, traffic. Then, you can tell it's coming. The inevitable conversation about the killer. Some bits of information, rumors, things are overheard. You make a mental note of what you've heard. Who knows, it might come in handy. Oh, sweet. It's funny. I'm sort of relieved to see you. I'm starting to understand why my parishioners like confession so much. It's almost addictive, this desire to talk about oneself, to be listened to. He pauses a moment, not the kind of pause that calls for a question, but a real break in the conversation, and for the mind. I have some good news. That has obviously thrown me into a spiral of questions and doubts. He pauses again. She's pregnant. It wasn't planned. When she told me a few days ago, I was happy. She and her husband were not able to have children, you see. She sees it as a sign that our love is true, authentic. I did not react as I should have. Uh, you're scared? Scared? No, I'm not scared. Stressed out, nervous, yes, but not scared. All these parts of life that never affected me before, and now, when she told me about the baby, I froze. I started thinking about trivial things. It was like my mind had opened up an old photo album, like my memory had waited all these years to trigger mine. He grasps for the words, hesitates. Maternal instinct? Or parental, probably? Men and women aren't so profoundly different after all. In my opinion, in any case. He takes a minute to collect his thoughts. He's visibly moved, emotional. When she told me about the baby, I thought about it's stupid. When she told me about the baby, my first thought was, what sport should he play? A long sigh. I thought about what sport he should play, what school he should go to, what name we should give him. In an instant, I was planning our future together, all three of us. When I told her I wanted to get married, she took it badly. Really badly, actually. She shut down, asked me to leave. I don't know what to do or what to say anymore. I thought she wanted to have a family. Family is. No, wait. I see what you're doing. I'm no extremist. I don't think a family has to be made up of a mother, a father, and children. I'm not that old fashioned. It's just that. It's just. You sense from the way he moves that he's very tense. You're right. Families love connection, a home, not chains. You remember something. I gave a sermon along those lines a few years ago. I I remember it really bothered some of the parishioners who would rather have seen me at the head of a right-wing protest rally. You know what? God gave us the freedom to be whatever we want to be. This is how I must live, and I must learn to live. Once again, you're helping me open my eyes. He stops to think. I think I know what I'm going to say to her. I don't know if it's the right solution, but it's a solution. Together we will figure out how to face these obstacles and overcome them. You park in front of his destination. Your passenger pays and gets out the car. I don't know how I could do all this without you. He walks off. Alright. Ooh. Oh, we're kind of close to the evidence, though. Why not? He's like right there. He's so much closer. Let's just pick him up. Out of nowhere, you hear a voice whispering in your ear. Oh, we had Space Lady last time. Now we have a ghost. This is where I died. Brake hard. There's no noise in the cab, no noise outside. A silhouette appears on the backseat of the cab. Its features appear one by one as if drawn with a paintbrush. So much suffering. You squint, a little boy. Would you be so kind as to drive me? Sure. I just won't say anything. I'll just drive around. In the backseat behind you, the boy slowly reappears. You start driving. You drive towards Gare de West. You follow orders. You don't seem to have any choice in the matter. A few streets down, the little boy begins to mumble. You act as if everything is normal. His disagreeable presence makes you feel uncomfortable. For a while, you can feel him staring at you. You look back. Look over there at the Metropolitan Station, the stairwell. Guy Moquette was arrested there. Guy Moquette, the name rings a distant bell. A young member of the resistance. Very young. The sound of your breathing fills the cab. He was twice my age and twice as wise. Murdered by soldiers. Rats. You have to sing pretty low to kill a child, don't you think? He takes a break from talking. You catch your breath. It's cold. And his brother died from grief. Does anyone still die from grief these days? I'm just gonna be quiet. I don't know. I'm not talking to a ghost. Let's have a short snicker. Yes, that's what I thought. That should be a good lesson for everyone. The boy's face twists into a scowl. No one dies from grief anymore. Stop the cab. Pull over to the sidewalk at this time of night. Gare de l'Est is empty. I believe I have one last thing to say. On the prison wall where they locked up Guy Moquette, there were scratch marks. He saw them and pictured the prisoner who was there before him, and the child begins to fade. He found it comforting. The first bit of comfort in weeks. His features blur. What an odd feeling comfort is, the impression you are understood and had support. He was comforted by another prisoner's scratch marks. The back seat is empty. You feel a chill go up your spine. Damn it, he took me further away from my dates. Oh, wait. No, the guy's still nearby. Where are my suspects? You immediately recognize an ex-passenger getting into your taxi. You never watch television, rarely listen to the radio. You don't read a newspaper, and yet you know Francois de la Nair's face. Polemist, novelist, columnist, politician too, you think. Your passenger distractedly gives you his address. You start driving. Your passenger's voice is tinged with sadness. This evening's France mourns. She's on her knees, her head lays in the gutter of history. His voice gets progressively higher. What a nightmare. And higher. How terribly sad. His voice rings in your ears. What a terrible shame. I just let him go on. Do you understand what is happening? Micheline is practically walking free. Walking free. Who's Micheline. He can't believe his ears. Seriously? Micheline Chabin? Cabin? Chabin? She's been on the front page of every newspaper. She killed her husband and his mistress. 2 shots to the back. 2 shots each. She received a 22-year prison sentence. 22 years. What leniency? He growls, snarls, gets carried away. She's virtually a free woman. The current legislation, she'll be out in 7, 8 years tops. 8 years for killing not 1, but 2 people. He's so angry you can see the veins popping out his neck. He shakes his head. I said it once and I'll say it again. France is headed for disaster. How can we possibly expect to eradicate the crime epidemic that has infested our country? He slaps his knee. We need strict rules. We need strong courts. What a small shrug, as if it were obvious. We need to reinstate the death penalty. Takes a long pause. There's no other way to rid France of the cancer eating away at her breast. The passenger appears flustered by his last sentence. He needs a minute to catch his breath. What is it with these judges who are always calling for forgiveness, redemption, always talking of remorse? Liberals, always and forever. They disgust me, make my head spin. We need a more clear-cut judicial system, where we use our fists, not our hearts. Failure of our courts. Look at examples of countries where the crime rate is close to 0. Take action in depth. Bring public executions, death penalty, back into fashion. Honestly, how can we trust an animal lurking in the dark heart of man and woman? He underlines the world several times. How can we trust this animal, judged as it should be, by the law of nature? The passenger raises his head and looks at you in the rearview mirror. Look at this murderer running the Paris streets as we speak. The city is stricken with fear. People are afraid to go outside, afraid to live. None of this would have happened if punishment was permanent, final. But sentence is impossible to reduce. He takes his head in his hands. In a dramatic tone, he exclaims, "Oh, my poor France." He dives back into his notebook. Forget the guillotine, forever soiled with the blood of our fine king. He looks up to the heavens. No, we need something else. Parents should be able to bring their kids. It should be an important moment for all. Hard work, bravery, strong will. Your passenger suddenly seems more relaxed, as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. His voice is softer. He speaks to you in an odd voice, like he just woke up from a sleepless night. We are too kind to criminals. Turn the other cheek. There's a Christian principle I sometimes have trouble with. We need to bite the hand that slaps us across the face. An eye for an eye. I don't know how to respond to that. Lol, and eventually. Maybe that's the price to pay. Glance out the window. Just look outside. Look at all the thieves running amok in the streets. They lose an eye, they'll stay in line, I assure you. Or they'll fall on their faces. Funny, I didn't take you for one of those bleeding heart liberals that have taken over France. Look, it can be deceiving. Funny. Be that as it may, keep thinking the way you do. Follow your heart, not your mind. There are both financial and practical arguments in favor of the death penalty. We need to shape up or ship out. He sneers. And luckily for us, the ride is almost over. We won't have to bother having an argument. You pull up in front of his address. The pace is fair. When you're handing him his change, he can't help but continues. Ooh, that's a new word. The tribe? You see, we're in the same spot today as we were after the French Revolution. Soon you will see a man will rise up and carry away this oversensitive hodgepodge that is bleeding our spirits dry. Then, only then will a new empire, a new monarchy begin. Man was not meant to govern himself, it's only natural. He gets out the cab and walks quickly to his front door. You sit in thoughtful silence for a moment. Your stomach is upset. A bad memory or distant trauma. You run a rough hand over your tired face. The night is long. You could still detect the scent of your passenger in the cab. Musky, sweaty, and oddly feminine. You drive off. That was not an easy voice to do. That hurt. That hurt my freaking throat. Let's go to the gas station. I don't want to pick up freaking homeless lady again. Let me know if I'm doing these voices right. I don't know. I haven't been watching back any of the videos I do. I just hope they're good enough because I don't care to watch them back. I used to edit them and work on them. There's no point anymore. I could just. It's about the game now. It's hardly about slipping in a joke or something. The clerk behind the counter is undoubtedly the most ordinary person you've ever seen. Damn. Just an offhand comment. I don't care about the newspaper. But yeah, no. I don't know. I'm trying with the voices. I still remember the last time, the last lady with the Tourette's. God, that was that was a rough one. That one was hard. What do we want to pick up? I guess this one. Something closer. No, doesn't matter. They're the same, I think. No suspects. We still haven't met the one suspect. I'm hoping to. You pick up your client right outside of the entrance of a public hospital. He slips into the backseat and blurts out an address in an upscale neighborhood. Everything about him denotes fatigue. Voice, face, eyes. Judging by his clothes, you doubt he's a doctor, but you're well aware that appearances can be deceiving. Your eyes meet and you give him a smile. He doesn't respond. The ride begins in silence. In the rearview mirror, you notice your passenger's clenched fist, tight mouth, and twitching eyelids. I'll say nothing. He might need a moment to himself. You drive in silence, taking an occasional look in the rearview mirror. Your passenger's all worked up about something, oozing anger from every pore, about to snap. I'll talk about the hospital. They good at that hospital? Oh, that wasn't a question. That was just a statement, too. Your words startled him. Excuse me? I was just saying, they're good at that hospital. They took care of me a couple weeks ago. He moves in closer, ever so slightly, as if to better stare at you. Nothing serious, I hope. You shake your head no. Car accident. He gives a brief, mirthless laugh. I hope it wasn't your fault. It wasn't. The other driver skidded on the ice and his mouth curves into a hesitant smile. Empty, perhaps? Utter silence. You try to read your passenger's thoughts in the rearview mirror. His head dips in a reluctant nod as if hesitant to speak. He moves a hand to his pants pockets, feeling for something. No luck. He breaks off, sorry to have spoken, but his anger wins out. You could sense it beneath the surface, eating away at him. What is he so angry about, you wonder? You're right. The staff at the hospital is excellent. Especially the nurses, the doctors too. They're young and committed. Pretty unusual for a public hospital. He turns his gaze to the passing streets with its Christmas decorations, darkened windows, and rare passerbys. You don't let your guard down. I work in the private sector. I'm a gynecologist, but my father... His voice shakes. I can't even begin to tell you. He lowers his gaze. You sense he's gone to some far-off place. Then he comes around. The day I graduated from high school, my father shook my hand and said, "It's your turn now. You try to be successful as me, but you'll never be a match for me." Maybe just his way of motivating you? wasn't. He doesn't like me. He hates me, really. He's always considered me an inferior being, like some kind of parasite, really. He's never forgiven me for going into the private sector. All told, we've talked maybe 3, 4 times in the past 6 years. Chilling silence. Who reached out first? He usually did. Your passenger's jaw slowly relaxing. He called to tell me an uncle or cousin had died. Sometimes it was just a pretext to make some new dig. He'd read my name in a magazine, wanted to make fun of one of my clients. He shakes his head. I treated a lot of actresses at one point. Forget it. He's going to die. He's only got a few days left. Generalized cancer. There's nothing more to be done. His new wife contacted me, asked me to come, so I did. Like a good son. He gives an acid laugh. He called me an idiot and roasted me in front of the intern. He didn't spare me a single fucking thing. The choices I made, my life, my work. I grabbed my jacket and walked out. He can die there, all alone. Sorry. He seems to be taken aback by your thoughtfulness. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. If I trusted my gut, I would have. He's unable to contain his anger any longer. I think I'd have gone. He manages to compose himself at last, catching his breath one gulping heave at a time. When he speaks again, the tone of his voice is light and affected. The only thing that man ever gave me was hatred. I don't know what I did to deserve it. I worked hard. Everything I am today, I did it all without his help. He kicked me out the day I graduated. You can hear the muscles working in his jaw. Was that on account of the disease too? He remained silent. You could see his building at the end of the street. That was the last time I ever saw him. Pale and shrunken, like a pathetic-looking rat. A small lab rat devoured by disease. His skin all shriveled up by the chemo. You park your car. Your passenger hands you the fare. Keep the change. He exits the car and walks away without closing the door. His footsteps echo through the quiet street, and the door of his building slams shut. A moment or two passes, and you get out the cab to close the car door. You look up at the cushy apartments. The balconies are well maintained. Some turn into greenhouses. You notice a few plants, no doubt looking forward to summer. You climb back to the car. Who gave us the biggest tip so far? I swear it was like a $22 one. I think it was the priest, if I'm not wrong. Oh, we're pretty close to these. Let's go to one. We've been working pretty well lately, so I think we can afford it. Still no suspects on the map. Oh, where are we? Hospital? You get out of your taxi, cross the street, and walk over to the hospital. It's a small, drab building with gray shutters. A client of yours works here. You ask about her at the reception desk and are given a floor and a room number. The smell of disinfectant is overpowering. 10 years before, someone had come up with an unfortunate color scheme. Putrid lilac, sickly orange, muddy red. You push open door 451 and see... Wow, that's just not an easy name, is it? Jenna? We'll just pretend the D is silent. Jenna, sitting on a bed, her face aglow with the light of a cell phone. Oh, it's you! I was wondering when you were going to stop by. She stands up. Is this a good time for you? Sure, no problem. I was just trying to get some sleep, but it's been a tough night. She forces a brief smile. I don't have that much time. A few weeks later, you'd been there for Jenna. A few words exchanged during the taxi ride, that's all. But she contacted you afterwards to say thanks. Met up for coffee and then settled into a routine. Text messages sent every week or so to see how the other was holding up. Her schedule as a doctor meant she worked nights too, but you never told her about the attack, about the Sandman in the set. So you want to know about Pancurium? Pancurium? You nod yes and follow her down the hallway to a small medical dispensary. You can hear the gurgle of a coffee maker. Coffee? Sure, thanks. She pours some coffee into a flimsy paper cup, the smell momentarily blotting out the disturbing stench of the hospital. She pours some coffee into an old, cracked mug and leans up against a medicine cabinet. Have you been? Can't complain. Things can always be worse at any rate. You can sense her impatience. She switches her mug to her other hand as if to demonstrate her composure. But first, I need to know if... Is it related to the Sandman? She goes on before you can answer. You know I'm not an idiot, right? I know how to connect the dots. I'll tell her the truth. She seems cool. Yes, it is. You update her on the situation, presenting a broad picture. She nods, giving you a smile when you finish. Pancurium is a curer, poison if you'd rather. Yeah, sure, whatever. When turned into pancurium bromide, it's a muscle relaxant. It used to be used as a general anesthetic. Used to be? Yes, it's a very cheap anesthetic, but extremely powerful. Too powerful, in fact. Surgical interventions nowadays are much faster and more local. But it's still used in the United States on death row. She pronounces the last two words with an almost imperceptible shudder. She finishes her coffee. A lot of anti-death penalty NGOs are fighting to have it banned. Pancurnium is lethal, but it isn't a painkiller. Patients apparently still feel the pain until they pass out. Oh, and one more thing. She seemed uncomfortable. There was a break-in a few months ago. Some pancurium was stolen. It's not the kind of thing that usually goes missing. It was the same night the building caught fire. The hospital was swamped. Most of the victims were sent here. What victims? Most of the victims were sent here. For the fire? Any way to find out the names? She gapes at you, dumbfounded, amazed you would even ask. That's possible. It's confidential. Of course it is. Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you. Tonight it was my turn. No problem. You take a last gulp of your coffee to hide your disappointment. Coffee's actually quite good here, isn't it? She breaks into a broad grin. You're touched. There's something about her youth, about the light in her eyes. You smile back. Yeah, it definitely is. A few minutes later, you're back in your cab. Luckily, the smell of the hospital has vanished, canceled out by the cold. You turn the keys in the ignition. Jenna's parting words echo through your brain to the hum of the engine. Careful. Don't forget, you're not a cop. I believed you told her the truth. Believed. Glad you shared it with her. You drive away. So somebody's like really sadistic. Dude, oh, this dude is right on top of me. But I kind of wanted to go to the next one. I'll pick him up. Some money wouldn't hurt. Which way is he going? Why is it not letting me click on him? There we go. Yeah, so somebody really, if they say you can still feel pain, it's pretty sadistic. Your next passenger is clearly a policeman. You can tell from his poise, a bit weary with a touch of superiority. Hospital St. Louis, please. You nod your head and start the engine. Your passenger swallows a yawn, immediately followed by a coughing fit. You turn around instinctively. Is everything alright? He raises a hand to reassure you. Yeah, slept badly. Really badly. Terrible cough, and he stops talking. What? Nothing. Just bad memories. Stuff you can't forget. He laughs snidely. You know, I can understand that people don't like cops, pigs, gumshoes, but somebody's gotta do the job. He nods like he was talking to himself. Yeah. Dead bodies, those are the hardest. The images get under your skin. He takes a breath, a deep one. I think it does me good to talk to you. The nurses at the hospital see enough war and grime every day. They don't need me flapping my mouth. It was 30 years ago, same time of the year. Back then, Christmas started on December 15th. You see, not mid-November like now. It was snowing. Brazen style, as I like to say. All mud. News about a robbery on Rivoli. Rivoli? Rivoli came over the wire. I was right nearby, so I went over. Didn't run, no need to break my neck on the way. But I rushed. Looked outside. His eyes dart back and forth, wavering. His mind is restless. Even from the outside, I could tell something was fishy. The windows were unbroken. I could still see the jewels on velvet busts, rings on satin-covered fingers. I thought, shit, got the wrong address. And I suddenly realized that those weren't rubies in the window display. They were diamonds, covered in blood. Fresh blood, still dripping. So I opened the door. The smell of gunpowder and shit hung in the air. I could see the scene before me, but my brain was incapable of recording it. Like a comic book artist who only drew the main characters. There was spry little me, a robber, gun in hand, with a letter opener stuck in his throat. And the salesman, barely 20, in the corner. It's like my brain forgot the bodies, erased them completely. 8 clients, 2 more salespeople. The owner, all of them dead, packed full of lead, scattered in tiny chunks. He looks at you. You ever chopped meat before? Talk about a real piece of meat, no summer sausage. Yeah, so when I was a kid, we slaughtered pigs sometimes. For starters, you had to kill the thing, and it wasn't easy. A bullet in the head wasn't enough. You had to slit its throat and cut it into cubes. I was only a kid, so I watched, helped out a little. The more we cut into pieces, the less it looked like a pig. Eventually just turned into something else. Could have been a human. The shanks could have been a man's thigh. They had hair, freckles even, and beauty spots. He lowers his window. I need a clear. He's shaken by a coughing fit. It's nothing, I'm getting all worked up for nothing. That's what the jewelry shop looked like. Pieces of something that might have been human. There was a bit of everything. My brain just couldn't record it. It was telling me to stay focused on the robbery. The passenger uses a different voice, as if he were playing a role for a second. So, killed him. Stabbed him. The passenger smiles. He's having fun with this. The owner probably. His fist was still clenched. The salesman, he looked at me and started screaming, like a kid waking up from a bad dream. He screamed and screamed. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. He coughs and uses it as an excuse for a dramatic pause. He was an accomplice. A rather brash kid who moved to the big city to become someone. He listened to the wrong guy. Became the sole survivor of a botched robbery. The sole survivor in a massacre. It took several weeks before the images finally made it to my brain. It's like the information got stuck somewhere between my eye sockets and my neurons. I didn't sleep for 3 days. Blood on fancy suit, satin dresses, a hand all blown up, its fingers strewn across the room. Flesh dented with shrapnel, a limp face frozen in a look of surprise. As for the rest, he closes the window. Every once in a while, all the images come back. Walking down the street, getting ready to take a bath, farmer's market, and pop. They all come back. No way to stop them. Once someone told me I should imagine myself at the crime scene, go over everything again from my point of view. Professional, focused, with my eye on the target. But I don't know how to. Conjure up that young policeman. His face was washed away with the litters of bleach they used to clean the walls. You should go see the place. The jewelry store? Yeah, go have a look. Possible to tell 12 people died there. There's a guard outside. One of those big spotter types. He's armed. That's what I'm told anyway. I can't go there anymore. Just cannot bear to see that jewelry shop. He takes a long pause, rubbing his face with his hands. It's funny to think that when we die, we take a piece of the world's darkness with us. Who still remembers that robbery? The accomplice, maybe. Nobody in prison killed him yet. happy to die and leave behind those liters of blood, mutilated bodies, filled bullets had a whistle between his teeth. For him, he'd taken some of the world's darkness. Now there's a nice epitaph. Epitaph? I don't need words. Good game for expanding your knowledge. Words. What is that? Epitaph? Whatever. He looks you right in the eyes. Where you think he'll take you to the grave? I'll tell the truth. Why not? Lots of darkness. That's good. I think we all knew to do our part. Cleansing we sorely need. Pull up in front of the hospital. Your passenger doesn't budge. You see the automatic sliding door? You nod. They're standard glass doors. I think they know who I am and what I carry inside. Turn around and look at him. I'm dead serious. They don't open up when I walk up. Here, watch. Someone walks up to the doors. They open up immediately. No problem with the motor or the sensors. They work perfectly fine. He pays his fare and gets out the cab. He waves at you. Now, watch me. He walks up to the automatic doors. They don't budge. He waves his arms up and down, looks at you, shrugs. The doors eventually open. You grin as you watch him disappear into the hospital. You drive off. I like them. So far, I think he was my favorite character so far. Not much, really. I don't really feel like picking up anybody new. Let's listen to the radio a little bit. Yep, and upon the nighttime news. New laws preventing teenagers from using trains to run away. That's about it for the news. Now we could call it a day early. Yeah, we could go for more money, but there's no real point. I don't organize. We have 2 spots left that we haven't, like, reached yet. Found out his other secret. Let's see, we met Ludwig, little ghost boy. Oh, we lost much more than we gained. Damn. We met Francois. Francois. Matthew. Matthew talked about his father. And about his pain. You have met... Oh, I didn't even realize his name. I'll just say Paul. Paul told you about the jewelry store heist. Let's see. Any chance she's given us some more information? No. Oh yeah, this was a big thing. She got removed. Which is perfect because we left with 3 people and her, I don't know, she just really doesn't seem like it. Let's move some of these things aside. I don't know why I'm putting World War II gun on him. Let's stick this here. This is the 4th victim. We also have a bunch of stuff here with the injection, death by also relaxant. Also relaxant is important information. The reality is, it's like, I mean, we don't like really need. I don't think we can really use that as evidence for anybody. We don't really know who it was used on too. Left money to his dog? What? Someone left money to his dog. I don't think we need World War II gun. I don't see that as being too important. Banknotes stuffed in throat. Left money to his dog. Huh. Used for executions in the U.S. I don't know why that would be. I don't know. I have no clue why it would be her. I don't think that's important information. Why is this important to him? Monster relaxed and disappeared from hospital night of the fire. Victim 2 corrupted, deserved to die. I don't know who Victim 2 was. I don't have any information on them. Not really making much leeway on this right now. I want to cross. I don't want to cross anybody off until I'm 100% sure that I can. Him? No way. He has no tie to any of this. Her, she did, but her alibi checked out. Now these two are who I'm leaning towards. Her, not at all, pretty much. I'd remove her right now if I just need one more little bit to, remove her. One little bit of evidence to incriminate one of these two before I get her. The thing is, if she's the one, like, there's a lot of things here that don't make much sense. Like World War II, gun, and the emotions don't make much sense. Strangled post-mortem, tears. This was a very, symbolic killing right here. And, right now, I think it's him. Everything, and I mean, almost everything leans towards him. This is like a crime of passion, really. But I also might think it's her, because she's shady. I feel like with the Albatross fire, it was one of the buildings, Grupo de Mont buildings, I think. I read that somewhere. I think the second one was too. I think there was multiple fires. I'm not sure. Point being, there's this. Oh yeah, there's also this that is vital for us. But he wouldn't have access to this one, would he? Pancurium bromide. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like she might have hired what's his name? Victim 1, who was an arsonist, to burn down the buildings, maybe some insurance scam, and then kill them. Cut, and clean up any loose ends. Corrupted, deserved to die. I don't know how that would apply to her. Tears found on victim 2. They're not confirmed to be the killers, so maybe we can look at it a different way. Maybe it's not their tears. But this, you can't ignore it. Strangled post-mortem. That's a very emotional move. Coins found in mouth. Newspaper in mouth. Tears. Once again, tears. Banknotes. Money to his dog. Victim 4 is a weird one. I don't get it. But what would be her relation to these other ones? The first one I can make a relation, but these other three, she's corrupt. So why does she care that somebody else would be corrupt? Why would she go out of her way to do all this stuff? Her, maybe. I don't know. This is a very dark horse option, just because she doesn't make that much sense. But she also does, a teeny bit. Some things add up, some things don't. We don't know anything about her. We don't even know where does the albatross fire go into her story? Anger management. She's clearly emotional, young. She killed the fourth heir. I mean, not she's the heir. She killed the relative. Victim 4. Lives in a studio owned by her family and the Grupo de Mont. So she's tied to the Grupo de Mont. So she is a dark horse option. As a matter of fact, I'm actually coming around. He's an older man who has the ability to do this. But it doesn't make sense why. Okay, look. This guy, I don't remember. I had evidence that said he was an arsonist. I don't know where that went. Point being, he has a reason for the first victim. The second victim, supposedly corrupted, deserved to die. Learned this at a gas station, so it's not concrete evidence. Tears, strangled post-mortem. No. We don't know much about victim 2, but it could be him. Coins found in mouth. Newspaper in mouth. Tears too. So clearly emotional. So maybe... I don't know. I wish we had more on the victims. And clearly somebody rich enough to, leave money to his dog. The only thing sparing her from, true... guilt in my eyes is this. Maybe it's not about money for her. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Point being, we don't really have much. All three of these, you can really make a story with. But yeah, that'll pretty much be it. I don't know. I'll upload again soon. I'm actually quite interested in who it is. I have no clue. Right now, I'm going with the dark horse option. Camille, the lady all the way to the right. I'm actually coming around to that option. But yeah, that will be it. Thank you for watching.